Oh, hi there. Today I wanted to talk about GMOs. Um, yes, the concept of them can be kind of unnerving. You get the impression that these engineers who manufacture this sort of stuff can't really be trusted. I mean, Monsanto is the biggest pesticide organization as far as food and agricultural goes, according to the internet anyway. I mean, who really knows? I'm sure the same guys who developed Agent Orange aren't the same guys who, uh, manage crops today. I'm sure they're two entirely different people. For one thing, the people who made Agent Orange would just be too damned old at this point. But they probably, have the same methodology of how they go about doing things. But anyway, like, it isn't that big a deal. Like, there's a lot of food that people are unaware of that have changed over time. Carrots, for example, they all used to be purple. They're not anymore. They're orange. Uh, Corn. There's no way a couple hundred years ago corn looked like the way it does. Avocados. Um, they got more avocado flesh in a smaller pit than they used to. And there's just countless examples of how cauliflower or anything else has different. And some people would liken it to frankenfruit or franken vegetables or franken food. And I think that's a bit harsh, even for the ones where they've, you know, manipulated the structure of the seed so that the seed stops creating itself, and people have to keep buying the patented seed to continue growing that crop. Um, the thing is, if people think all that's evil and they go, I'm having nothing to do with GMOs, all I'm gonna do is eat non-GMO food, organic food, and everything should be fine. Well, everything's going to be fine anyway. But the thing is, if GMOs are really that evil, if it's, some sort of variation of Monsanto that creates this GMO food, that creates the pesticides for the crops and things like that, what's to stop them from being slightly more evil and just lying about the organic non-GMO food? Uh, I've I've had organic cauliflower. I've had many organic food, and sometimes it's better, but sometimes it's not. And the thing is, uh, like strawberries, for example, that would be one of the best examples of something that does taste better when it's organic as opposed to non-organic. Um, Organic strawberries tend to be of a better size as far as a more natural looking size than a regular strawberry because uh, regular conventional strawberries can be quite giant, and originally strawberries were very frail, very sensitive fruit. They still are, but not so much anymore. Like they're a lot tougher than they used to be. The thing is, like organic strawberries, they they're not that much better. And raspberries is another one. Um, they turn to mush just as fast as regular ones. Um, they can have kind of an unnatural flavor to them as well. I mean, it's not that organic raspberries are very good; it's that conventional ones are very bad. They just have a totally unnatural flavor to them. And what I'm getting at with this is that they may use a higher quality pesticide on organic foods and things like that, which would explain why it might taste better way. It may be a little bit different, um, because the thing is, when food's being exported or imported into the country, it has to be sprayed. Like legally, it has to be sprayed with something because there's just so many variables where something could go wrong, like some sort of insect hitches a ride or something like that. So when you get organic bananas from Ecuador, number one, I don't trust Ecuador to start with. Number two, when they come over here, they have to be sprayed, and in theory, that makes them not organic. Like in theory, it's not organic if somebody comes along with an organic avocado and puts it in with conventional tomatoes, for example. Technically, it's not organic anymore. Um, I mean, in the real world, uh, you kind of have to suck it up, but technically, it can't. Something organic cannot touch something that's not organic at all, ever. Um, but in practice, that's just not how it is. Um, yeah, I would say fruit is most likely to taste better as organic. As far as, leafy vegetables, lettuces, um, kales, and things like that, they're not going to taste so much different and not really worth the more money, to be honest. Like an organic avocado, although very nice, is not much better than a regular avocado. In fact, most of the time, I can't even tell the difference. And you'll always get people going, well, you're ignorant, blah, blah, blah. I'm a health food fanatic. I know all about organic food, this and that and the other. I go, look, man, I have some knowledge on the subject, and I'm telling you, they're not that much better. And if it's considerably more expensive, then it isn't worth it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with regular kale at $1.99. It's perfectly healthy. It's perfectly fine. It tastes great, and there isn't anything you should be concerned about with it. Um, and as I said, if this Monsanto company that is in charge of our food is so evil, what is to stop them from lying about it? From lying about GMO foods and organic foods? Because I've seen organic peaches and cream corn before many times. I've sampled some, I've tasted some, and it hasn't been that much better than regular corn. And not only that, it also looks the same. Um, okay, sometimes corn will have kind of a hillbilly look, as some people like to refer to as, where it's kind of got like bumps and inconsistencies and things like that. Um, they're perfectly fine corn, but for aesthetic reasons, they get thrown away. Um, for the most part, organic corn is seamless. It's like it's like something out of a magazine every time you look at it, and you do have to question. Well, corn isn't the same as it was a couple hundred years ago because of selective cross pollination and all this sort of stuff. Um, like when the Europeans arrived, they made crops better in some ways. They're more consistent, they're tougher, uh, probably have more nutrition in them. But it was mankind's tinkering that got them to where they are. And the problem is the scientific community has fucked up a lot of times, and they always get a pass. I mean, an individual within some scientific group may be pointed out as someone who's screwed up, and therefore they get kicked out, but the organization keeps going. They just find new people to replace it and go, well, there's a new person, he hasn't screwed up. And then when he screws up, he's gone too. And then they get someone new, and the apparatus that's the problem continues operating. In a way, it's necessary because there are some significant problems uh, that we as mankind have to face, and we have to try and overcome them. But I don't think they're particularly good at what they do. I don't think their knowledge is as complicated as they make it like to sound. Because there's a lot of people out there, when they go to explain complicated things, they like to give you the runaround. They make you learn inconsequential things. There's no pictures. You know, all the kind of things that make things really boring and uninteresting to learn. I'm sure there's some practicality of why those things are important, but for the life of me, I can't see it. Every time I go to read about anything, and it doesn't necessarily have to be about agriculture, but just about anything, and it's like people are trying to waste your time. That's why I try not to read books. Reading books is a waste of time. Um, well, so yeah, the point I wanted to make is just because it says on the label that it's non-GMO and that it's organic, or even that it's vegan, uh, that's not evidence of anything. I know some people aren't gonna like that because they like to think, "Oh, I'm living a healthy life, blah 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 blah. I'm doing everything right, blah blah blah." I couldn't possibly be wrong. I don't blame people for that, but that's egotism. I can be convinced that I've been wrong about something if someone talks in a persuasive way. Uh, and not necessarily backing up with facts, because I mean, I don't want to hear someone go, well, you're wrong, and I got a web page that I read, and I'm going to treat it like it's my own opinion that debunks what you have to say. No, I don't mean that. I mean, you're going to have to talk to me like I actually have some concept of what's going on. Anyway, uh, I'll talk to you guys later. Yeah, have a good one.